Take this overboard now.
Hey guys, it's me, Keisha, and today I am here with my all tea, all shade reaction to Chantal Christie, Jefferson, Montgomery, Cliff interview with Carlos King that aired yesterday on his YouTube channel. At first, I wasn't going to even do a reaction or my thoughts on the interview, but a lot of you inboxed me and was like, I can't wait to hear what you got to say, and this, that, and the third. And I was like, let me see what she gonna say, okay? Let me see how she's going to spin this, present this, now that the show has aired and everything has been put out there on the table. And just like I thought, it was a bunch of deflection, talking around in circles, contradicting herself, outright lies. It was just a shit show. Just be honest with you. But I got a lot of notes, so I'm telling y'all right now to sit back and relax. Get your popcorn, get your dinner, put your socks on, put your pajamas on, put that sweatshirt that you love on, get your throw blanket, get underneath the covers. All right, turn that air conditioner on. It's hot. Get you a glass of wine, some water, some soda, something. And let's digest this foolery, okay? So the interview begins off with Chantal discussing how Jackie was not there for her and her siblings because she was on the road with Doug, and how her grandmother, which is Jackie's mom, basically raised them and took care of them. Carlos asks then, why is it that she has so much smoke and animosity for Jackie and not Doug? And you can take that two ways about why do you have so much vitriol to your mom for not being there, but none for your dad? And also, why do you have such vitriol to your mom because you say that she was this mean, controlling, verbally abusive mother, but you then praise your father, who would have technically been sitting idly by, allowing her to treat you and your siblings this way? So why wouldn't you feel some type of way towards him that he sat back and watched this behavior go down and really, honestly, didn't do anything about it? If you want to just be blatant about the situation according to your words, because if he done something about it, it wouldn't have continued on all of these years up until you're 32 years old. And she says, and I quote, because these are my experiences. My dad has had the pleasure of experiencing my mom as a wife. Me and my siblings have experienced her as a mother. I didn't have the negative experience with my dad that I have with my mom. So it was okay that your daddy was constantly going on the road, doing what he got to do, basketball, it was okay because that's what he did for a living. Okay, daddy, it's okay. You get to go and have your career and put your family second, whatever. It's okay. Dad, it's okay that you watched and sat by while my mom treated me like literal dog-ish according to you majority of the time. But that's okay because you didn't do it. It's okay. And it's okay that as my parent, who's supposed to love and protect me, saw this happening, was told this was happening, and I guess gave her a talking to, but then it happens again, and it happens again, and it happens again, and it happens again. And as my father, all you do is talk to her and then allow it to continue to happen to me. but that's okay. It makes no sense whatsoever. And I wish that Carlos would have put it into those terms with her to really pin her to the cross. To be like, how is that possible? How is that possible? Because you basically deflected from the question and focused your response on your mom and not your dad. You went around the mulberry bush like you always do. And I peep game with that. So when asked about her parents' marriage, she said, I'm not going to speak on their marriage because I think what I did and said on the show was very tacky and tasteless. But it was always a but with her responses to things. And I'm like, oh, all of a sudden now you don't want to talk about your parents' marriage, but you were gleefully, giddily on the show. Oh, their marriage isn't what you think. He's gonna leave her. Yeah, you was basking in that, salivating in that, but now you don't want to talk about their marriage. Okay, girl. Chantal says that she never told her dad what she experienced with Jackie until her late 20s. So you went half of your life without telling your father that you were being emotionally and verbally schmalted by your mom. But in the same breath during this interview, you said that anytime you've had issues with your mom, you run to your dad. So did you only start running to your dad in your 20s? I'm confused. If your dad was so loving and so supportive and always made you feel like he was your protector, why did you hide that from him until your 20s? It doesn't add up and it doesn't make sense. It simply does not. It does not add up. Nothing that she says coagulates. It never goes together. It's so ridiculous. And my mama doing these things to me, but I don't speak up and tell my father, who I love and adore, who's my hero, my protector, and all these things until my late 20s. I don't believe that at all. She then goes on to say that she takes full accountability for what she did, but the whole entire interview, she contradicts what she says, gives reasons to why she did this and that and the third. She has not taken accountability for anything, child. She then says that she wanted Jackie to take accountability for what she was doing in the moment while filming the show, and that it was never about her childhood. The whole season, she sat around those ladies, making them and us, the viewers, think that she had issues with her mother based on the things that she has dealt with her throughout her life. She kept on alluding to how she was afraid of her mother, how her mother was so controlling and manipulative and all of these things, but she never gave us actual evidence, scenarios of what these things were. But she kept on alluding to them all season long. But now it was never about her childhood. It was about what was going on while they were filming the show. Keep that in your back pocket, T-Squad. Keep that in your back pocket, okay? Because I'm going somewhere with this. Whew. Such a fucking liar. She admits that they weren't in a bad place before filming. No, they weren't besties, but they were not in a bad place before filming. So when they had that one-on-one sit down and Jackie said to her, we were fine before we started filming. And she says, were we? And Jackie was like, I thought we were. Were we fine? Look at her, Jeffrey Dahmer. Because she is diabolical. She is such a weirdo. It doesn't even make sense how strange of a bird she is. Now in the interview, you're saying that y'all were fine before filming. On the show, it was, were we in a good place? Were we? Keep that in your back pocket as well, T-Squad. She says that things took a turn for the worst during their first scene that they filmed with each other, when she says Jackie brought up her daughter's father and their court case situation. I went back to the episode, y'all. I watched it. Went through the whole episode. I watched that one particular scene, and then I went through the whole episode. I went through episode 2. I went through episode 3, and I could not find the scene where Jackie brings up what's going on with Chantal and her court case. If y'all know the episode, please inform me. But she says that she saw things take a turn in their first scene when Jackie came over to the house. And in the interview, she says, and I quote, she walked through the door and tried to pick up my baby. And I was like, we baby steps, because I'm not going to pretend like y'all just like that and like you just grandmother of the year. At that point, she had only been around my son maybe 2 times before that. So no, I'm not gonna fake for the cameras. Yeah, we are gonna ease our way into this. Factual. Jackie walked through the door. She tried to take the baby and she said, baby steps now. They literally go into Chantal's apartment. Jackie sits at the counter with the baby, holding the baby, joking about how she'd protect the baby, unalive somebody, this, that, and the third. Then they talk about Chantal gives her the boundaries of, you're not going to just be coming up in here, knocking on the door all times of the night and da-da-da-da-da. I just need you here to keep an eye on things when I'm back and forth with the kids. They discussed that. Then they discussed her coming around the girls. That was it. She also goes on to say that after Jackie brought up the situation with her baby daddy and their court case, she was so pissed, but she kept it cool in the scene. And afterwards, she called her dad and she called Dougie and told them what she did. And they were like, what? She did what? Y'all discussed it. That wasn't going to get brought up. So she's saying in her mind now, she's like, I don't know what they're going to keep and what they're not going to keep when the show airs. So she then decided to talk about it on camera. I always thought that Chantal was the one that brought it up first at the Vegas situation when she was like, she knows what I'm going through. She knows I'm going through a court case with my daughter's father and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So did Chantal bring it up on camera first or did Jackie? Because I could not find this scene. So if it's going the way she's portraying it in this interview, she's saying that Jackie brought it up on camera, their first scene that they filmed with each other, even though in that first scene, there's not one part of that is shown. If that is the case, then producers, editors cut it out. And then when you got irate in Vegas, you brought it up on camera and then you continued on with it for the rest of the season, giving us updates on this court case, right? Or was it a situation where your mother never brought it up and you're now saying that she did to make her look bad and say that I didn't know if they were going to keep it or not, so then I just decided to talk about it? Because you can always say that this stuff is edited out or it was talked about off camera, because she kept on doing it throughout this whole interview, saying stuff was talked about off camera. Yeah, because then we have no way to prove whether you're lying or telling the truth. Since when has the editors and the producers on this show ever given Jackie, Lorraine, Renee, Gertrude, Christie a break and tried to make her look good? Never, ever, 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 ever. Anything Jackie has done that is shady, manipulative, where she's lying, if they got the footage to prove it, They have shown it. So I cannot see the editors seeing her bring this up on camera and you being so upset off camera that they wouldn't have kept that in to show that Jackie once again is being a horrible mom. We didn't see none of that. I cannot find the scene. It's giving to me, unless y'all can tell me what episode and if Jackie was the one that bring it up first, it's giving me that you're using this as an excuse as to why you clicked out on your mama, because we can't verify whether or not she said it and they just edited it out. So she says that Jackie tried to get Brandy to spill some tea about this man that said Chantal was a lesbian while they were on the Hawaii trip. She says while they were on the boat that Jackie tried to get Brandy to bring it up again. And Brandy was like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Once again, we saw Jackie on that boat, queasy and sick. These girls told everything under the sun about anything that Jackie brought up off camera to them in private conversations, but that was never brought up on camera. That your mother tried to get Brandy to spill some tea on you. Nobody brought that up. Brandy never brought that up. No evidence of it. Nowhere on camera. The puzzle pieces ain't adding up, mama. It's simply not. Then she says on the Hawaii trip, you telling Jen you had grandparents' rights. All of these things are coming at me and I'm still here trying to take it. Chantal Christie, are you insane? Did you watch the show that we watched? Were you watching Desperate Housewives? Because by the time y'all got to Hawaii, you was already disrespecting the hell out your mama. Talking greasy and crazy. So what are you talking about that you had been sitting there trying to take it? Take what? Take that, take that. Your mama was the one that was sitting there trying to take you and your disrespectful ass. And I don't understand why Carlos didn't have any rebuttals for these blatant lies. And y'all know I do interviews. I've interviewed plenty of reality stars. In my interviews, I let them talk. I let them talk so y'all can get the reactions, their truths, their lies, and all of that. But when I know somebody's blatantly telling something that I don't agree with or that is a lie, I'm going to come back with a rebuttal question. It's not to be like, you dead ass wrong and to go off on somebody. No, it's to be like, well, what about da 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 da? And he didn't do any of that because that right there was a blatant lie. You had been verbally going at your mother already at that point. Telling her, yeah, go ahead and get out of here. You look stupid. You look goofy. You look dumb. That was you sitting there trying to take it. Okay. Chantal then says, if you want to come out now at this point and offer Jackie an apology for the way that this fight was relayed, I understand it and I respect it. But for y'all to say that y'all didn't see what she was doing to me on and off camera, like talking about Ming, because Ming issued Jackie an apology after watching the episode where the altercation happened. And she's saying that she had no problem with Ming, apologizing to Jackie or whatever about the fight because she did relay the information back to the girls incorrect that night when saying that Jackie hit her, because in the interview now she's saying Jackie didn't hit her. It was kind of like she swung, but she got pushed into the camera, but it didn't connect. But you ran downstairs. She put her hands on me. Look at what she did. She put her hands on me. She hit me. She hit me. She hit me. She hit me. But now it was, she didn't hit me. And you're saying, but for y'all to say that y'all didn't see what she was doing to me on and off camera. Everything is on and off camera. What we saw on camera was you being a tyrannical brat of a bitch daughter. And you keep on saying how all this stuff happened on and off camera. Well, what we saw on camera was Jackie being a mother that was trying her hardest not to have discord with her daughter on camera for ratings. And you constantly coming at her, disrespecting her, taunting her, poking at her. So all of this shit that you saying happened off camera that everybody witnessed, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Because if all of this stuff happened off camera, them girls brought up everything else that was said. Why they didn't say that on camera? Girl, bye. She says the reason why she didn't check Brittany for disrespecting her mama is because Jackie was talking about Brandy off camera, but being her friend on camera. That's the reason why she allowed this lady that looks like walking sperm to call her mama every name in the book but a child of God, because her mama was talking about Brandy behind her back but being cool to her face. Chantal, God bless you. Chantal, God bless you. Raise y'all hand if y'all grew up around your mama and you hear your mama on the phone with one of her little friends and she might be talking about somebody or whatever. Then that person come around and your mama being cool with the person, but you overheard her being like, I can't stand that heifer. She get on my nerves and da 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 da. That's grown folks' business. We've all been taught that. Yeah, you probably looking at her like, my mama fake as hell. You know damn well she was just talking about Suzanne. You know what I'm saying? But never am I going to use that as an excuse to allow another chick to disrespect my mama and come at her on some rah-rah trying to buck up and fight her. Chantal, use a dust mite. Like, you are the dustiest, dirtiest parasite. Ugh. That don't even make sense. Like, huh? But then in the same interview, you mad because your mama didn't take up for you when it came to Brandy telling you to stay in a child's place. Her not jumping in for that. You allowed this girl to call your mama all types of B's and everything else. The two don't even equate to each other. Come on, son. And once again, this is a point that should have been made from Carlos' side to put that on the table. Like, please explain this to me. But okay. She said that fans said that she started poking at Brandy first. She said that while they were on the Vegas trip, that she told the girls she was going to ask Brandy at dinner why she invited Jen to Evelyn's B-Day house or whatever. But that Brandy overheard her talking about it first. I went back to the scene. Went back to the Vegas scene. In that episode, Chantal, Ming, Ty, and maybe even Denise was in the room. And Ming was talking about how, you know, she didn't like the fact that Brandy invited Jen. Da, 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 da. Chantal agrees with Ming in that scene that Brandy throws rocks and hides her hands. Mind you, Brandy is in the other room and she overhears them, and that's when she goes in there and checks them. The argument goes back out into the main area. Chantal is at the dining room table. Brandy is over by the pool table. And Chantal was like, so we just can't talk about how we feel and be heard? And Brandy was like, but for how long? How long you got to go on about it? Because remember, at this point, Chantal just keep on co-signing what Ming is saying and keep on talking about it, even though this ain't got nothing to do with her. She ain't got no dog in this fight. Bitch, you were coming for her first. You involved yourself in a conversation that had absolutely nothing to do with you. Brandy did not do anything to you, ma'am. You decided to jump in on that. And then the fact that you told them that you were going to ask Brandy at dinner the next night while she invited Jen, who has a precursor? Like, just go and say something to her now. If it's bothering you that bad, why you gotta wait till the following night at dinner to do it in front of everybody? Do it now, you punk pussy asshole. Girl, bye. It don't even make sense. Then Chantal says the viewers took from the scene that I'm telling my mom don't say anything on my behalf when it comes to the her and Brandy situation. She says that's actually isn't what I said. I said I can handle myself. If you don't want to do it on your own, you see her coming at me for no apparent reason. She coming at you for no apparent reason, but you started with her. Negate all that. That didn't happen. None of what you did at the house happened. Brandy's coming at you for no reason. She's just a crazy Looney Tune. Went back to the scene when they sitting on the couch in Vegas. Jackie says, you and Brandy having your guys' issue, as long as it don't get to the point where I feel I need to interject, that's when I'll interject. If I got the grounds to interject right now, and that's what I'm feeling from you, I can interject. And what was your response? And sat there mad. Your mama literally was giving you the respect as an adult by saying, I'm gonna let y'all handle grown women's business, but if my daughter tell me I can be on go, she need for me to be on go, I will be on go. Is that what you need from me right now? Because your mannerisms is telling me that that's what you want. But instead of saying that, you sat back with an attitude. We have seen you on this show in the past tell your mama not to speak for you. You grown. Then when she respects that, now she wrong again. It's like she damned if she do, she damned if you don't. Nothing is ever good enough for you. You baby boss face ass bitch. Like, girl, it doesn't make sense. None of it. Mind you, as I went back and watched those first couple of episodes, her and Jackie did not have any problems. She already admitted that. She did not have any issues with her mother leading up into filming. She did not have any issues with her mother in the first couple of episodes. Everything went left for Chantal and Jackie when she got mad that Jackie did not check Brandy on her behalf. That's where all of this started. And after that, that's when everything went downhill. That's where all of this started. Because she got mad. Jackie never did anything to her. She got mad because she wanted to pout and be like a little baby, starting stuff with people, and then got mad when she got her lick. When Brandy got her lick back. Then she wanted to get mad. You can't sit up there and fuck with people, poking at people, having something to say, and then get mad when they finally spaz out on your dumb ass. Chantal then says, I'm asking her, did you call me impressionable? The whole cast and production are staying in the same house. When these cameras aren't rolling, there are a lot of conversations. She's telling these women that, yeah, Shani is impressionable. And you got to keep an eye out, basically. You're saying things that are going to send me off. Once again, she's talking about conversations that happened off camera because there's no way to prove whether or not it happened because we'll never really know for sure. But she lies so much that she forgets the things that she's already said previously. So, like I did with the other episodes, I went back to that scene Chantal in her confessional says, and I quote, "After Vegas, Denise shared with me that she overheard my mom calling me impressionable or saying that I'm easily manipulated. Production flashes back to that scene where cameras were rolling, and Jackie said, 'I'm upset that my daughter is being manipulated to be in the middle of this ish.' She was not having no issue. Now, all of a sudden, a phantom issue comes up." Nowhere in that statement did she call her impressionable. Nowhere in there did she say that she was easily manipulated. What she said is she didn't like the fact that you were being manipulated to have basically an issue with her all of a sudden, because that's exactly what happened. You let Demi Lovato and Ilyasha Shabazz, Evelyn, and the rest of them hookers amp you up to have a reason to feel some type of way towards your mama. That's what she was referring to. And you fell right into the trap, which what shows that you are very impressionable. You would think that her, even if Jackie did call her impressionable, you would have thought that she called her a rotten, dirty, low-down, skanky, whore, bitch, cunt, slut, skeezer, wench. You all up in arms because your mother may have called you impressionable? No, that's giving you wanted a reason to have something to be mad about with your mama. And you saw with your own two eyes when they played the episode that Denise lied to your ass. But yet and still, you're still going on with the narrative that this was said. Sounds impressionable to me, but okay. She then goes on to say that Jackie kept walking away to play to the audience. Okay. I think that she was being a mother, being a grown, mature woman, trying not to play into what the producers and her cast members obviously wanted, which was a showdown between mother and daughter. But you want to think the worst of her, so have that. Chantal says, "If that's how you really felt, that I'm not going to engage in this in any shape, way, fashion, or form. I'm not going to discuss my child. Why do you continue to engage? Why do you continue to show up? Never once did you say, if Chantal is going to be there, I'm not going to be there." I'm sorry. I thought that this was a show that your mama been on for 12 years. I'm sorry, she's under contract to show up to work. I'm sorry, she did walk away. She did not engage with you. So she's supposed to leave her show and not show up to work because, like, you can't make this shit up. It makes no sense. Carlos says, "I now understand that for you, as you're sitting there trying to have a conversation with your mother getting up was a way in your mind at the time. You're playing in my face and you know this is going to get me to react." Chantal says, 1000%. You know this is going to send me off. You do know that that's what abusers say to their victims. You made me do this. You know that coughing is going to piss me off. So you provoked me into slapping you. You know that if you don't have my dinner on table, that's going to set me off and make me slap you. That's what schmoozers say. Your mother does not control the way you respond or react to situations, Chantal. You want to talk about how you so grown and you 32, but you don't know how to control your emotions and your reactions to things? You're that easily manipulated into getting turned up and activated? Because if that's the case, then you're easier than we thought. And whose fault is that? You can't blame your mother for the way that you acted. You have to take responsibility for your actions and the way you decided to handle the situation. Maybe if you would have been the one to get up and walk away, we wouldn't have been here. Because your mama didn't let you push her buttons. She knows how to control herself. But we can't say that for you. She then says, before I got to the point where I was speaking to her disrespectfully on that last night in Hawaii, I was actually very calm. Once again, Carlos just let her sit there and lie. Because I was going to make a compilation of everything that was said before that night in Hawaii. And up until that point, once again, you had called your mama goofy, dumb, told her, yeah, get out of here, walk away like you always do. That's why my daddy don't love you. And this, that, and the third. Like, that was you being calm. She said she knew going up to the room that there would be no resolution. Then why the fuck did you go? Chantal says, so when she's asking me, baby, what is it? You're not asking me because you really want to know. You know what happened. You were here. And I'm not talking about my childhood. I'm talking about right now on this season today. So if that's the case and none of this was about your childhood, this is what I told y'all to keep in y'all back pocket earlier in this video. If none of this was about your childhood and all of this is about what's happening now here today on this show while y'all filming, then technically, once again, this whole thing started because you didn't like that your mama was being fake by talking about a cast member to you and then not keeping that same energy to Brandy in her face. That's what pushed you to the edge where you decided that it was about to be Chantal versus Jackie the rest of the season. Do you know how stupid that sounds? It would have been better if you would have kept up with it was about my childhood, because if you talking about what's going on during filming makes you sound like a psychopath. How could that send you so off because your mama was talking about a bitch? You need help. If that's the case, you really need help. She then goes on to say, you're producing this scene. That's a much better exit. Yeah, I'm saying things to her, but do you not realize that she's saying things back? Like, y'all, put this girl in a padded room and in a straitjacket immediately. So you think that you can say whatever you want to say to your mama, right? Call her out her name, threaten to fight her, threaten to call your father, say that your father's going to leave her. But when she finally cusses your ass back out and says something, she didn't even cuss you out. She just got smart with you. One time. She's the one that's in the wrong. Chantal says, I was just in disbelief that you really balled up your fist and aimed for my head like I was a stranger in the streets simply because I pushed you off of me. And that's where the viewers are being willfully ignorant in this way. You put your hand on my elbow, knowing I was upset. As my mother, you know that touching me is going to send me off. I see now how that push looks like. Well, girl, you started it. That is not how I felt in that moment. Should I have pushed her? Y'all heard me say, don't touch me. Whether or not y'all want to acknowledge her hand was on my elbow. So which is it? Are you admitting that you were wrong for pushing your mom, or are you not admitting? Because all of this sounds like an excuse for what you did. And nowhere in there does it seem like you are remorseful, that you are apologetic. Nowhere in there. Everything was blaming your mother for you putting your hands on her. Let's say, for instance, that Jackie did touch your elbow. Her touching your elbow then gives you the right to push her? Chantel, I don't know what drug you're on, ma'am, but please go to rehab. Whew, Jesus the Christ. But we're willfully ignorant. Okay. She says that they haven't spoken 7 months, but Jackie sent word to her brother, Dougie, to ask Chantel, does she want her to stand up for her, make a statement, and that she said no. Chantel says, and I quote, "You shouldn't have to ask for permission for that. If you see people are wishing the D word on me and my family, no, you don't have to speak on my behalf. I can speak on my own behalf, because even if you did, it's not going to be the truth. You're not going to take accountability for what happened. You're not going to acknowledge that you pushed me to this point. You're not going to acknowledge that. You're going to leave me out there holding the bag, looking like this terrible, disrespectful, horrible daughter." Once again, Jackie is doing something that I wouldn't have done. She's still thinking about you. The fact that she even put out word to you that she's willing to stick up for you and on your behalf after everything that you've said and done to her speaks volumes of the fact that your mama do love you, that she do care about you. But once again, you want to act like the ignorant brat that you are and says, no, you ain't got to do that for me, because if you was going to do it, you should have been did it. And you see what's being said about me. You ain't got to ask me for that. Da, 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 da. But then on the other hand, you saying even if she did it, she wouldn't take accountability, and that she's not going to acknowledge the fact that she pushed you to this point. Like, girl, make it make sense. How you mad at her for asking you for permission, because in the past you have asked her to come to you and talk to you. You have set all of these boundaries, and then when she respects your boundaries, she's wrong. And nobody's making you look like a terrible, disrespectful, horrible daughter but you. You did that to yourself. You continue to do this to yourself. Jackie didn't do that to you, girl. You did. She says then, this was the one hitter quitter, that at the age of 27, she was diagnosed with an aneurysm on the right side of her brain. And Jackie knew this and still aimed for her head. So she's not gonna wear what we are trying to put on her. So you mean to tell me that you can cuss your mama out, threaten your mother, push your mother, and then when she finally breaks and knocks your ass out, she's still in the wrong because she knows that you have an aneurysm on the right side of your head and she still aimed for your head? Chantel, bitch, first of all, when she hit you on the left side. So she still was sparing your ass. Girl, you weren't thinking about your aneurysm when you brought your ass on this goddamn show, raising up your blood pressure. You weren't thinking about that. Who puts themselves in high stressful situations knowing that they have a brain dysfunction? Who does that? You. But that's somehow Jackie's fault too. Now you're basically trying to say your mama tried to unalive you. Girl. When it comes to her daddy, she says that Doug has been my protector in times that I needed one. He has been the source of release when things in the house got too heavy. He will remove me from the situation before I get to the point of disrespecting her. Anything that comes to her, I'm going to my dad about it. Because you know what it is that I'm dealing with. Now, mind you, earlier in this interview, she said that she didn't tell her daddy about the things that were going on with Jackie until her late 20s. She also said in this interview that she started working, got her a job and everything else so she could get out the house. You know, get away from her mama. I can't remember what age she said she moved out. I don't remember. But how was he there to remove you from the house when situations were heavy if he didn't know about stuff until your late 20s? Was you still living at home in your late 20s? I don't think you were. So which one is it? Did you tell your daddy in your late 20s that your mama was crazy, or did he know all along? Because your stories change. Your stories change over and over and over again. I'm just not understanding this. I'm not. And how could your father be married to somebody that you claim is just this horrible, diabolical, devilish of a mother? How could you possibly stay with this person and allow them to disrespect and treat your children this way? Because that means that you as my father are complacent with that and don't see really what is wrong with that. And you are adding to said a schmuse by allowing it. But your daddy is the archangel. She says the one thing she regrets this season is saying that Doug is going to leave her mama. That's the one thing that she regrets. Carlos then apologizes to her for saying that she and Brittany were trauma bonding. Why he felt the need to apologize for that, I don't know, because that's exactly what they are doing. Jackie leaves the show. Like I said to y'all in my season finale review, Jackie, leave the damn show. Leave the show. Because remember, in this interview, Chantal said, and I quote, "I'm the only basketball wife. I'm the real basketball wife. My mother is married to a coach." She want to take your place. She want to be you. She want to be you. Let her be you. And see how she sinks. Because she's not going to swim. She's going to sink. Because like I said, let Jackie not be the focus anymore. Remove yourself from the show. Let her take your spot, Flash. And let's see how long this friendship between her and Brittany lasts. Let's see how long this truce that she has with Evelyn lasts. They gonna eat your ass up. They gonna eat your ass up because Brittany gonna be jealous of the fact that you think that you that bitch now. The first time you disagree with her, baby, she gonna get to screaming and yelling in your face, and there it go. Y'all are trauma bonding. That ain't no real friendship. That ain't no real friendship. If a bitch can disrespect your mama like that, what makes you think that she ain't gonna disrespect you like that? It's just a matter of time. So I didn't understand why Carlos thought he had to fucking apologize to her. Like, what? Okay. Then lastly, she says that some of the castmates, including herself, unfollowed Ming after her apology to Jackie. Chantal says, what made me unfollow her is the other commentary in that statement. Like, as a mother, I can understand, but as a daughter, you should also understand. You've also said you and Vicky have problems. You also said the things that she did to me on and off camera were wrong. My thing is, did they see these so-called things happen, or did they just go off your word? Like when you ran in there and told them that your mama put hands on you and you knew that she hadn't. So were these off-camera things that happened things that you ran to them and told them that Jackie did, and they took your word for it? Or were they actually around to witness these so-called things that Jackie was doing to you off camera that was so horrible? Because I don't believe these things happen. Because once again, if it had happened, it would have been brought up on camera, and it never was. You are mad at the fact that Ming apologized to your mama. You're mad about that. That's why you unfollowed her. That's why you feel some type of way. It ain't about the other statements that she said. You mad because she saw what really truly happened and said that isn't right. So since she said that ain't right, now you mad. And now you got an issue with her. And who else unfollowed her? What, Brittany and Denise? Who gives a fuck about them? Who cares? Nobody cares. about y'all. Y'all the Three Stooges. Don't nobody give a fuck about y'all. Girl, bye. To me, that whole interview was a waste of time, a waste of breath. Okay, it's going to give Carlos views and a nice little check. But if you were watching that interview for any clarity, any truth, any understanding, any accountability, inner reflecting, wrong interview. Because in that interview, all we got was more lies, more deflection, more contradictions, more talking around and around in circles. Girl, it was a shit show. You can't trust nobody that come in there with a Lane Bryant jacket on and some rainbow jeans. Girl, the hell with you, Chantal. Girl, the hell with you. Okay? And the Three Little Pigs. That girl, you're pathetic. You're pathetic. You're pathetic. You're a loser. You're a liar. And please believe that what goes around comes around. And that the things that you are doing, you gonna get spanked for. No, your mother is not innocent. No, she's not mother of the year. But what we saw this season was a mother showing up for her daughter in the right way for once. And a daughter using a platform and an opportunity to out her mama, disrespect her mother, push her mother out of the show that she's worked on for years. Paint her mother to be the wicked witch of the West without no evidence. That's what we saw this season. And it was tasteless, like you said. It was tacky. It was disgusting. It was hard to watch. It was hard to stomach. And I honestly feel sorry for you. I really honestly do, because you live in an alternate universe where whatever you think and feel in that moment, according to you, is gospel, even though it isn't really reality. You live in La La Land, and that's scary to me. It really is scary to me when people are able to make up scenarios and lie and manipulate situations. That scares me, because you're liable to say anything to hurt somebody. And how far will you go with this? Because let's not forget, she said on camera that things happened to her as a child, alluding to something either schmexual happened to her, but none of it was about her childhood though. Everything that she was mad about was what was going on in the show right then and there. But you brought up this stuff about something happened to you in your childhood, and your mama said if you don't clean up, your daddy gonna kick you down the steps. But it was never about your childhood though. So this is why I'm saying people like that, you gotta break away from. You got to break away from them, because you will end up getting locked up behind somebody like Chantal. You want to say your mama crazy? You earned it outright. If that's the case, you got it from her, and you got it outright from her. If that is the case, you're scary. You got to be real careful with people like her. Real careful. Real careful. I'm thankful I ain't got to talk about this no more for a while. Part 2 will probably be out this winter, 9 times out of 10. And then we can pick up where we left off. But my soul and my brain needs a cleansing from Chantal Christie. I don't want to talk about her. I don't want to see her for quite some time. Okay? Because I can't. Me and my mole cannot. We are tired. Okay? Whew. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about this interview. Let's talk about it down below in the comment section, y'all. I love you, and I will see y'all on the next one. Bye.